South Sudan has been named by BBC as being the most violent country in all of Africa. And within South Sudan, the state of Boma has been labeled as being the most violent, warring, volatile people groups, consisting of Kachipo, Merle, Jay, and Anuak. They have fought one another over cattle, stealing children, raiding, slaughtering, massacres, and all kinds of violence indescribable. And this has gone on for years and generations. After 7 days of prayer gathering in the National Stadium, God said, go to Boma. So we started packing up, and we thought, God, if you've sent us and if you're taking us there, we want the soles of our feet and the tires of our car to tread this land. It's a war-torn area. Vehicles have been bombed and burned. There's all kinds of dangers on the road. Cattle keepers keep their cattle with guns. The mud sticks on the tires, and we have to cake it off. In rainy season, it's impassable. But our teams were eager to go. About 15 of our guys from Uganda and South Sudan went ahead of us in the truck. We followed in the Land Cruiser 16 hours over treacherous roads that sometimes the heat was 110 degrees. There was no phone network, and you're at the mercy of nature, but at the mercy of God. That's a good place to be. Pibor was the poorest area that I've ever seen in Africa. People dwell in makeshift dwellings made out of UN donations, tarpaulin, bamboo sticks, carving out a living from the dry ground, cracked ground. Bread was scarce, water was scarce, vegetables were scarce, food was scarce. There's little medical help and pharmacy. There's almost no education, no gospel. Churches are very few. They haven't seen missionaries in over 60 years. Our truck set up the platform, and we began praying. Much prayer had gone in ahead of time for this, and the evening crusades were gospel message outreaches that was taking the voice of God throughout the whole town of Pibor. We prayed over the town. We saw the governor. He wants to give us land and set up offices there for medical, for women empowerment, for Bible school, for literacy, for education for children, for trauma counseling. Our guys slept in an office here that's just a makeshift room where they laid mattresses down, and about 15 of them had to cook every day for themselves, drawing water from wells, using pit latrines, bathing out of buckets, which they're used to. Tremendous missionary heart. And our team that went had to be absolutely fearless, ready to face anything. We slept in UN headquarters, ate military rations, didn't have a square meal for about 4 days, struggled to get water and simple basic things to live. But that's how the people live. And they're brave, and they're fierce, and they're warriors, but they need the gospel, and they need help, and they need development. So our hearts are to go. We had car breakdowns at times. We had meetings with pastors talking about how we would leave 2 months of Bible training, literacy, and trauma counseling on the ground after the crusade meetings. They pleaded with us to set up a center. Like they said, in over 60 years, they haven't seen a missionary face. The gospel was preached nightly. We had miracles. We had crippled walk. We had blind eyes opened, and truth went out. The governor said, if you'll do this night after night, it will change the heart of our people. And I believe it does, because nothing changes the heart like the power of God's word. Our fearless team were bold. They're aggressive. They're full of the word. They love people. They sang, they preached, and they worshiped, and flooded Pibor and the state of Boma with the transforming power and love of the gospel in action. So all the miracles you've seen in the book of Acts or read about, we see here. This gospel of the kingdom must be preached in all the world for a witness to all nations, to every tribe, every tongue, every language, and then the end shall come. That's our vision. And not only to go in with the gospel, but to go in with healing, the power of love, and transformation.